Hi everybody, it's Emily. Welcome back to my homestead in week 7 of the Three Rivers Challenge. Today we're going to use some leftover roasted chicken from last week and make chicken and dumplings. This is an easy meal that I just really don't make often enough because we love it. And we're going to make it tonight. You already saw me add the home canned chicken broth and some water to a pot. And here I'm peeling up carrots, and we'll get those diced up to go in as well. Traditionally, my grandmother and my mother, they never put carrots in their chicken and dumplings, but when I started making it for my family, I decided I would add carrots so that I wouldn't have to worry about making an additional side to go with this, and it's just a one-pot meal for us. Now that we've got the carrots added to the pot, we're going to start making the dumplings. So first I pour in some self-rising flour and add some shortening to that. This is not a recipe that I have measurements for. This is something that I learned from my grandmother. She would have me watch her make the biscuits, or I eagerly watched her make the biscuits. She didn't have to make me do it because I loved her biscuits and I wanted to know how to make them as well. And I always wanted to help her in the kitchen. So I would watch her make biscuits, and when I got older, she would start having me, feel the mixture at different points so I could see and I could feel and I would know what it's supposed to look like and what it's supposed to feel like. So at this point, it's sort of got a cornmeal texture is the best way to describe it. And then you add milk into the middle and stir it up. Usually more milk than I think I need is how it goes. And it'll mix up into a sticky batter that once I think it's all well incorporated, I will start adding to our pot. Now I realize I keep saying biscuits and we're making dumplings here, but it's the same recipe. You just add a little bit more liquid, and if I was making biscuits, I would knead it for quite a while and then roll it out to cut the biscuits with. But it's the same base recipe. This one's just a little bit wetter and stickier. And I just start dropping them into the pan. By this time, it's come up to a boil, and I'm just dropping, appropriately sized to my liking dumplings into the pot. Here's another view so you can see a little bit better. I try to drop them into an open space, and it's a little bit difficult to do it while also recording because I usually use a spoon to help scoot the biscuits out of the way, in which I switched to do that here so you can see. And I just move the dumplings out of the way, drop some more dough in until it's all in there. I ended up not using quite enough liquid. I probably should have added another half a quart of water at least. So the chicken and dumplings turned out very thick, but they were still delicious. And this was enough food that we ended up having it a second night. I just added a little bit more water and heated it back up, and it was plenty for us to eat for that second night and enjoy. The final step is to add the chicken. Believe it or not, the last time I made chicken and dumplings, I forgot to put the chicken in, and we didn't realize that I had forgotten until we were about halfway through eating it. It still tasted awesome because I used the home canned chicken broth, so it tasted right. And of course, you need to add salt to it. But this time I remembered the chicken, and here is the final product, ready to cool off a bit so that we can eat it. Another night for dinner this week, we had some frozen fish. I start out by coating the bottom of the casserole dish with some oil and then cutting this fish out of the packaging. We had 2 fillets of flounder in the freezer for quite some time. It had been on sale at the store and we thought we would try it. We've never had flounder before, lots of other kinds of fish, but never flounder. And of course, the kids made Little Mermaid jokes about this. But we add some lemon juice to the top, as well as some pads of butter, salt, and a little bit of pepper. And then that's ready to pop into the oven. I served this with some steamed vegetables and some rice. And while those 2 fillets may not look like enough for all of us, they actually are. 2 of the kids will barely eat a couple bites. And these were actually fairly large fillets. The next night, we're going to use some more leftovers along with this spaghetti to make what we call grandma's spaghetti, or what my kids call great grandma's spaghetti. We're using what's left from the sloppy joes of last week and mixing that with the pasta and a little bit of the water. And that's the meal. It's a really good and delicious meal, and it's a good way to stretch something like leftover sloppy joes into another full dish for the family. This will actually be the last meal in this week's video because the next day we headed down to Indiana for a long weekend because the kids had time off from school for President's Day weekend. So we ate with family while we were down there for all of our meals and obviously didn't need to use anything from our pantry. So thank you for watching and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye!